Hi, everybody, it's Don, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, we have a developing situation that happened on the Carnival Panorama where it got caught in some waves in a storm and actually listed to one side, sending a bunch of dishes and things to the ground and even having some water flood one of the elevators. We also have another protest, this time in Rotterdam, where a whole 15 people on kayaks held up another P&O cruise ship. We have the Star of the Seas actually already has had a mishap. It just set sail and something's already broke on the ship. We'll talk a little bit about that. We have Princess Cruise Line saying that one of their restaurants is such a success on the Sun Princess. They're expanding it to 3 more ships in their fleet. And we have an overboard situation on the Disney Wish. Or do we? So a bit of a frightening situation from people on the Carnival Panorama where they were selling an 8-day sailing, I believe it was, and they got caught in a little bit of a storm, a little bit of rough seas, and the ship actually listed to one side. And some dishes were flown to the ground, and there are reports that some flooding appeared in some of the elevators, and numerous lightning strikes as well, which is probably the scarier part. If you're on the ship, if you're looking at lightning strike your ship, is not a good situation, not to mention the listing. The good news is it did right itself. It is sailing normal again. A few passengers were treated in the medical center for very minor injuries. There are no major injuries that were reported, or any major incidences with the ship's mechanics or anything like that. The ship is sailing normal again. It's just one of those things that sometimes happens when you're on the water, right? It's just like when you're driving in a car and suddenly you hit a big gust of wind. Your car can suddenly just go to the left or go to the right at one point. Same thing happens with a ship, considering a ship is just like one big wall and the wind just hits the wall and will push it, right? And you're on water, you're going to move no matter how big your ship is. So yeah, good news there. No real injuries and just a bit of a story to tell for everybody on the Carnival Panorama. Next, we also have the Rebel extinction again is causing some delays in Rotterdam this time, where 15 protesters went out with the kayaks and blocked the ship from docking for about 30 minutes when police showed up and told them to move and got them moving and actually arrested 2 of the protesters. Not sure what the charges are, if the charges are going to stick, if they were even arrested or just let go, or if there's any charges at all. At some point, the police have to start charging these people and actually bringing them to court, or this will just continue to go on and on and on forever, and that's kind of what they're looking for, where again, 15 people disrupted a business and then the port operations because of their thoughts on cruising, I guess. Fine. Whatever. Next, let's talk about a developing situation on Disney Cruise Line. The Disney Wish had an overnight situation last night around 8 p.m. Where the ship turned around and it was sent out a search boat. You can see the searchlights out there searching the waters, looking for a man overboard. And there was some big concern, but the cruise then did a mandatory muster drill for crew members and passengers, and it appears that everybody was accounted for. So it turned out to be a false alarm, but it just goes to show they take any kind of thought of a man overboard situation very, very seriously, as they turned around immediately and they started the search even before conducting a passenger, proof that somebody went over. They were looking just in case this was an actual man overboard situation. So glad that wasn't the case. Next, let's talk about Princess. And one of the successes on the Sun Princess was the sushi restaurant that they had on board. Very popular lunch and dinner options. one of the things I liked about it, it's so much food, so much sushi. Like it's hard to finish it. That's how much food that comes. Like you just are full by the time you're eating there. It's delicious. And they say that because of the success, they are now going to expand it to three more of their cruise ships, and I imagine it'll be on the Star of the Sea. Sorry, the Star Princess as well. So yeah, good news if you're a fan of sushi and the restaurant on the Sun Princess. Finally, my final story today of some weird things happening is the brand new Star of the Seas already has a glass issue where one of the glass panels on the side of the ship shattered yesterday. Just out of the blue, nothing hit it, no contact was around, nobody was around it at the time. It didn't break and fall to the ground or anything, it just cracked and shattered. It's still in place, and the crew quickly went over and blocked it off. Luckily, no one is like leaning against those. When you lean on the railing, right? You don't lean on the glass panels. There's always a railing in front of those glass panels, so that's a good thing because it's a long way down on the largest cruise ship in the world. Now, a lot of people have been commenting about how much glass has been breaking on Royal Caribbean ships lately, but in this case, like this one is on the side, it's probably a stress fracture, like too tight. The glass was installed, and that's why it can happen in your home windows too in a brand new home. This is a brand new ship, and so I've seen it. I saw a glass panel on the Sun Princess that was shattered. So I'm not too concerned about this glass panel. The ones that were concerning were the ones that were overhanging like areas of people lying on the sun deck and stuff like that from higher up that would fall on people, where this one wasn't going to fall on anybody and would have fell into the water if anything. So I'm not really concerned about that. I see this on a lot of cruise ships, so it's not uncommon, shall we say. A lot of people look at it and say, wow, what's happening with these ships? But this glass panel is something that you see all the time if you sail a lot. And I've seen this numerous times on a variety of ships, all different cruise lines. So I won't blame Royal Caribbean on this one. And quickly before I sign off today, I just want to mention to everybody that when I'm on these trips, I am also posting an awful lot of photos that don't get to come to the channel because it's mostly covering news and stuff like that. I post it on Instagram. So if you happen to be on Instagram, you can check it out. It's Don's Family Vacation on Instagram. And I post while I'm on these trips like 4 or 5 times a day, various photos of the locations we're on and different things like that. So just to give you an idea of some of the behind the scenes and behind the area that don't often make it to full videos. So yeah, Don's Family Vacation on Instagram, self-promotion done. And until next time, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.